The Aaron's 312 on Fox is brought to you by Smooth Busch Beer and Easy Drinking Busch Light. Busch, the proud sponsor of the NASCAR Busch Series.
Welcome back to Talladega. Mike Joy with Larry McReynolds, Darrell Waltrip. A 27-car wreck on the back straightaway has put more than half the field in the garage. Here's how they're running at 29 laps. Stacey Compton, Jason Keller, Kenny Wallace, right there as you see them, top of your screen. And looking on back through, and one fella that I'll bet you've not seen in Busch Series racing occupies 8th spot. More on that as the packs start to converge back here. We had 4th and 5th place, Hank Parker Jr. and Tim Fedewa, and now they've been caught by Jeff Purvis, Casey Mears, and C.W. Smith at the tail end of that group, running in 8th place. From out of Williamsport, Pennsylvania. First, Steve Burns.
Well, Mike, as you mentioned, Hank Parker Jr. got around the 07 of Timmy Fedewa, but crew chief Gary Cogswell is telling Hank Parker Jr. you're actually faster behind other cars. So what they want to happen is the 37 of Jeff Purvis to catch up. Then they'll get in line with him and hope to run down the lead pack. That may take a while, but that's the game plan.
There's that pack trying to run single file, make some inroads. And we mentioned Smith. There's his nose peeking through the top of the screen there. The black and red car. Retired Pennsylvania State Trooper. Was Rookie of the Year in '89 at Clearfield Speedway in Pennsylvania, and he mainly runs Pocono and Talladega in the ARCA Remax Series. Best finish 6th at Pocono in 1997.
And I believe my friend Jeff Spricker helped this guy here build this car and came down here and tested with him, I believe.
54 years old. Likes the high speeds of the super speedways.
This group right here now, this is, again, we talked about it a second ago, 4th through about 8th. This group, they need to stay in line because those top 3, they're in line, and this group is about 9 to 10 seconds behind that group. That's going to be a tough task running those top 3 down.
If anybody in any of these cars pulled out of line, Larry, I think they'd be making a big mistake right now.
Yes, they would.
Basically what you want to do is just obviously survive this thing and get it to the finish, and you're going to have a good finish. For some of these guys, it's going to be the best day they've ever had in racing. So, you know, for one guy's bad luck, another guy capitalizes.
Let's go to pit road.
Mike, before we went back to green, George Debonart, the owner of the 48 team, walked down to the 59 and 57 team, said, hey, let's just get together and stay in line. And when Kenny was out front, his spotter, the big round mound of sound, Donnie Ampling, ran down to the spotter on the 59 and said, stay behind us. Kenny just wants to lead 10 laps. And the crew was like, what, does he get a bonus for leading just 10 laps? So we walked down to the 48. They said there's no significance. That's just wacky Kenny. But unfortunately for Kenny Wallace, after 8 laps, the 59 had to go because his car was starting to get warm. He needed to get some fresh air through that grill. So Kenny went from 1st to 3rd.
There are your leaders. Now, don't forget the Compton is running the entire Winston Cup schedule as well as the entire Busch Series. Kevin Harvick did that with great success last year, winning the Busch Series championship. Compton this year had the Busch Series ride lined up, and then A.J. Foyt called, wants you to drive my Cup car. Then Jim Harris called, said, I need you to drive my Craftsman truck. And Compton had to turn that one down because his plate was already full.
And guess what? I got to drive the truck because of that. And Stacey's doing a great job in this 59 car. I mean, he's qualified well every week. He's been in the top 10 a number of times. And, boy, a win today would really be impressive.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to start 6th tomorrow for the Winston Cup race.
Got some momentum going, he does, you know, with both teams.
Deals being made. Representative of the 36 team, Hank Parker Jr., on down to see Jeff Purvis's crew.
And really, you can't do both Winston Cup and Busch without having the cooperation of both teams. And Stacey said time and time again how well they're working together.
It's not without fast planes and helicopters either.
Exactly.
I can't stress enough, and I'll probably say it 24 times. This group right here, if they're going to make, if they're not going to get lapped, they're going to have to stay in line. They can't be back there racing each other.
I don't know. They're racing for 5th, 6th, and 7th, and 4th. You know, they're having a good little race back there.
Larry, people don't tune in every week to watch fellas do what you want them to do.
Yeah,
well,
right.
I understand, but I'm one of these guys that's crew chief right now, and I want to get back up there. There's this pack right here, and it's the whole length of that 4,000-foot backstretch that they're behind. That's the lead pack on the right. Stacey Compton, the 59, Jason Keller, the 57.
That first 3 cars there are running about 51 seconds flat. The next group of cars is a 1.5 seconds slower. So I don't even know if they caught up, if they could keep up or not.
Kevin Grubb back on the speedway after overheating. Larry Gunselman as well. They are 14th and 15th. Everybody else is in the garage either making repairs. Here are the cars officially out of the race. Johnny Sauter, Joe Nemechek, Michael Waltrip, Joe Ruttman, Ron Hornaday, Mike Wallace, Mike Harmon, Jeff Fuller, Coy Gibbs, and before the wreck, Brad Teague and Christian Elder withdrew. Tomorrow, Winston Cup racing from the fastest speedway on earth, right here on Fox.
Well, it is interesting that we do have a Chevrolet, a Ford, and a Pontiac, 3 brands represented, and a Dodge in the first 5 cars. So each brand has still got a good car running.
You know, something I didn't realize, we just saw Jeff Purvis in the 37 car, and I didn't even realize this when he won Texas a few weeks ago. Bill Davis Racing actually supplies the engines for this car, along with his teammate, the 27 car of Jamie McMurray. Of course, he builds the engines for his own car, Scott Wimmer, the 23, who was involved in the wreck. But didn't realize Bill Davis supplied the Busch Motors for these guys.
And I knew these guys were from Central City, Kentucky, because that's down by Owensboro. I mean, it's just a few miles from Owensboro. I mentioned they were from Bowling Green. Bowling Green is between Central City and Owensboro, so that's where they are from.
Steve.
Well, thanks, Mike. In addressing what Larry just said, the crew chiefs have just cut the deal. Gary Cogswell, the crew chief for the 36, and Hank Parker, as we ride with Hank, went over to Terry Shirley on the 37. The 37 of Purvis went past the 36, and sure enough, Gary Cogswell said you're a second or more faster running this way, so that's how they're going to try and run down that lead pack.
And they absolutely are. We were documenting just a few laps ago, they were running in the low 52-second bracket. Now they're in the mid-51, so they're definitely better off in this configuration.
Up front, Stacy Compton, Jason Keller, Kenny Wallace.
See Kenny Wallace in that 48, they talked about him running a little bit warm. You see him keep kind of breathing the left side of the car out, just getting a little bit of air in there to cool that water down.
They move past Chad Chaffin to put Chaffin 1 lap down as the Aaron's 312 completes 38 laps here on Fox.